we go. There we go. Happy Sunday, fun day. Enjoy talking to you. Jerry, big shout out. Deborah, we got Heather in the house. Brenda, Karen, looking forward to going for some house hunting today. So best wishes for you. And yeah, good day to get some of those errands in earlier. And everybody's asking for some relief, and we finally do have some relief. But one of the things I showed this morning was my phone. I said, you know what? We need to make sure our phones are fully charged. All right, we enable those alerts. And if you've got a warning, just tap of the button. First Coast News app, we're going to be streaming. We stream around the clock each and every day as it is. So if there's something big happening, right here, we're right by your side. That's what it's all. We say First Coast on your side, right? There you go. So make sure you have this. We're going to have another active day. Really no changes to the forecast. It's been the last 2 days pretty crazy, right? Intense heat to intense storms. I don't see a pattern change. In fact, you're looking at computer one here still. If we go to weather 2, we're actually scrolling live. That's our little weather stream we've got going on there. Malcolm, that's kind of cool though, isn't it? I love seeing our streaming graphics here. And then coming back live to our beautiful weather 2. There it is. Yeah, you got it. There's our beautiful Jumbo Shrimp Field there and ViStar Ballpark, and we're looking forward to something special today. Now, we've done all we could. We've been trying to keep folks cool on Good Morning Jacksonville, and we've even had we talked about some Christmas in July, and just trying to think cool thoughts. Before you know it, it will be Christmas, and Christmas in July. Okay, where you kind of just take a step back from the heat in the summer, saying, "Hey, we're almost there." Cooler days are not far away. They're going to get here. And if you look at ViStar Ballpark, they're celebrating Christmas in July. So we're trying to keep cool thoughts. Santa's coming. I mean, it's got to help, right? It's got to help us, okay, a little bit at least. It's not going to really cool us down today, but at least we know that it's going to be a lot of fun out there at the ballpark. Now, you can see some clouds building already, but it's nice and dry. So if you're going out to see Santa today to try to stay cool and keep those cool thoughts, there will be some building storms in the afternoon here downtown. Still thinking we'll get in. It's an early first pitch at 1:05. Let's take a look at this forecast here. Latest modeling data coming in. Well, first of all, here it's 86 degrees at First Coast News downtown. If you're coming downtown, we have the intense heat. That's going to be my big thing, I think, if you're coming to the ball game. Yeah, making sure you have your hats, your sunscreen, and find some of those cooler spots around the ballpark. 99 is the feels like temperature with that west-southwest wind. So here's the important part. I think it's more about the heat because we've got that first pitch at 1:05. And then as we head into later this afternoon, really between 3 and 4 here downtown, that's when we're going to start to see some showers and storms. So the hope is we get the game in. A quick game, right? Don't they have a clock on the pitchers now? So maybe that'll help speed things up and speed play up. But it looks like heat to storms, and most of those storms should be for the drive home. So we'll keep an eye on it either way. But coming downtown should be a lot of fun. A little Christmas in July. You can't really turn that down. We take a look at our satellite radar composite, and we're not watching any big features. This is certainly a summer pattern where we're watching a lazy, hazy dog days of summer pattern, and it'll fill in with lightning as we go through the afternoon. So notice those temperatures moving on up. 87, 97, I showed you 99. Let's take a look at that heat advisory. Okay, so this is the first of the advisories we'll have today. We're going to have weather advisories for heat, and then we'll get some advisories and weather warnings for the thunderstorms and the lightning across the area. So here's the heat, officially between 11 and 7, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. But I think by the time we get to 4 or 5 o'clock, the hottest day will be over, the hottest part of the day, because those storms will fire up and cool us down. It's been quite the heat wave. It really has. So as we look at our First Coast heat risk, we use level 1, 2, 3, 4, a scale up to 4. You got the hydration scale. It's more minor. 2, slow down. It's more moderate heat. We can deal with that. Find AC. That's when you start to feel it. Major, number 3, and 4 in the purple. So the red's 3. That would be more of the major. And then the purples are the danger zone. So notice we no longer are all purpled up here on the First Coast. That's a big change. So that's good news. But we are in the reds, which means it's still a big deal out there. We're going to find some air conditioning. Remember the pets here on our Sunday, and it's for most of us. Now tomorrow, notice we're going to shift that big heat toward Orlando, most of that red and level 3 heat, and then we'll get back to more of our typical heat where we hydrate and we slow down. So that's some good news. We'll drop that heat level from a 3 to a 2 to a 1. Come on, there it is. I see by Tuesday, even better. And then Wednesday, Thursday, the heat will start building back in with the Saharan dust by especially late week. And you'll start to see those purple colors in Orlando, Crystal River, Central Florida come back up to the north. I know, Christmas in July. We take a look at our last 3 versus our next 3. And here it is. So we've got this model updating. We should be at 92. This is just a reminder. So you see those numbers. We've been at 98, 96, 97. Today, 94. And then we can finally push those numbers down Monday and Tuesday back actually below average. I think Monday and Tuesday, latest information showing 89 and 91. And I do think really for the weather impact alerts, it would be today, tomorrow. I think we're okay on Tuesday. So updating everything for you here. We do have that heat advisory to start. There's the feels like temperatures of 103 to 110 in the shade. And then the afternoon, notice the rain chances really start to increase. 40% at 2 o'clock, 60 to 70% by late day. So that's the thinking in. You hear downtown, I'm looking out the window, we got the sunshine, and then we'll get those storms coming in a little later on this afternoon. So good rain chances, good coverage like we've seen the last couple of days, and it's been wild. We've had some downed trees, we've had some power outages, we've had small hail reported around the area, lots of lightning and localized flooding. So these storms will be slow movers. Let's get into some of the impacts now here, and it does look like as we got that timing down, you see our weather impact 2 to 8 o'clock, so we got that timing down here. By the time we get into this afternoon, the question is, what will our future cast look like? So let's load her up here. Okay. All right, so we got the future cast here rocking and rolling, weather impact alert. And here's the deal. It's basically the pattern we've seen the last couple of days where we're watching to the west and things will fill in rapidly. The one change I did talk about this morning on Good Morning Jacksonville was showers and storms come maybe a little earlier. So again, watching downtown, watching the jumbo shrimp today, but it does look like instead of closer to we've been closer to 5, 6 p.m., more like the 3 to 4 p.m. hour. So there's Gainesville, Alachua County getting on the storms, Lake City as we go through the afternoon, and then quickly spreading off to the east, all right? What's interesting, we take a look at some of the brighter reflectivity. We head toward 4:30. West wind all the way to the beaches. So once again, we're watching the beach forecast today. Earlier the better on the beach forecast. The fishing, best if you're at the Volano Beach Ramp, we got to get that boat out. Get it out soon and get it back. All right, so those are some big storms right along the coast. So if you look at your deeper instability, highest risk of severe weather, really I-95 to the east. That's what it's telling us here. And notice we will cool off. All right, at least it'll give us some cooler breezes. It's been very nice once those storms pass in the afternoon the last couple of days after that wild weather we've had. So today, a lot like yesterday, a lot like Friday. We got you covered. And then as we go into overnight tonight, we're good. Let's roll this tomorrow, which is interesting. I'm excited about tomorrow because we get a break from the heat. Not necessarily the weather impacts, but look at this. We got maybe some showers coming in on Good Morning Jacksonville. Oh, man, I love waking up with you every morning. So we're going to show radar, have that going. Doesn't look like a widespread morning rain, but there will be some showers around wet roadways, weather impacts in the morning and the afternoon. Officially, I have the weather impact alert for the highest chance of severe weather, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. tomorrow. So we'll watch that. If we get more significant rain in the morning, I'll push it all day if I have to. So there's tomorrow. By lunchtime, late morning, early afternoon, we will have some rain around. So if you're planning your week ahead, just keep in mind that we will have that rain coming in even earlier tomorrow. What I like most about this map, no 90s. Yeah, mid to upper 80s. Let's see, what did I do last week? I think I said, we're the first to show only highs in the 80s. All right, I'm going to keep it. I like the timing. I like the cloud cover. We do have a front. It's not going to make it. It's going to come closer to home, so a little cloudier, muggier. We'll speed up the atmosphere a little bit with what's left of a front coming south, but it's not going to quite make it here. So we'll keep that wind out of the west, get the rain in here. So tomorrow evening, really, when I fine-tune this forecast in the morning, likely you may see like a 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. We may just trim the back edge of it and move that rain shield up earlier tomorrow because it looks like a quieter evening. Look at those nice temperatures tomorrow night. All right, you ready? Weather impact alert, Jacksonville. Okay, officially today through Monday, 2 o'clock to 8 o'clock. All right, so let's go over this. Impacts. Lightning We could see over 1,000 lightning bolts per hour. Flooding, why? These storms are moving very slowly. We showed you that dead atmosphere, just nothing moving. There's no fronts nearby. Blah, it's just hot, just lazy, hazy days of summer. And then wind gusts of 40 to 60 miles per hour. And that does include, again, a couple severe thunderstorm warnings for wind. So watch out for downed trees. Be careful driving. If you're in doubt, sit it out. Wait till these storms pass. It's not worth it driving around out there. And the big thing, need those charged phones. I mean, this is it, the future, the phone. We're at your side all the time. If you need a weather update, enable those alerts. You'll get not only where the warnings are, you could also zoom in on the radar. You don't even have to have a warning. And then if you want to stream us with the latest on the storms, just push the little First Coast News app and we're here for you. So local coverage and serving the community first for you. All right, so keep those phones charged here. Now, as we look at the severe weather outlook, we'll go over here a little bit more in depth. The Storm Prediction Center has increased that threat level. We woke up this morning with a 1, mainly the northern tier of our area, and we were expecting this. We said I expected us all to be in a level 2 before all is said and done, and sure enough, that extends down to Daytona Beach, Orlando. So really, where you see the green there, this is our best chance of seeing some severe thunderstorm warnings today. West coast of Florida, don't be fooled. I think Tampa, Hillsborough County, okay. Once you get to Polk County, that's when we'll start to see some of the higher chances of severe weather. And then we've got the localized flooding, wind gusts to 40 to 60. And with all the travelers this time of year, you know how it is going up through I-95 through South Carolina? Not a good travel afternoon. So if you have flexibility in your schedule, I would not leave I would not leave right now. So it takes us to 2, 3, 4 o'clock. If you can leave this evening, once our storms pass by 6 p.m. and the storms will settle down up in South Carolina and the Carolinas where what's left of a front settles in, that's when I would leave. So if you haven't left yet for a big trip north, you have flexibility, I'd wait till later this evening or first thing tomorrow morning. We take a look at travel weather. There's the storms from Charlotte to Myrtle Beach. We got Savannah, Georgia, Jacksonville. So really looking like summertime out there. Atlanta 89. Look at the cooler 82 in Nashville. That beats that temperature near 100 we showed last week. So at least we got temperatures that'll be moving back closer to normal. We take a look in detail. I said, well, I'm not too keen on travelers heading up I-95 this afternoon and evening. Here's why. A real mess up toward Charleston. If you're heading to Atlanta, not good. Here in Jacksonville, we'll settle down pretty nicely. So nice evenings shaping up, and then overnight looking good. Tomorrow, we said that what's left of that front will kind of wiggle south, but the overall flow speeds up. So by lunchtime, we're going to hear some rumbles of thunder here at First Coast News. Metro Jacks. This includes areas back toward areas of Clay County, St. Johns County, Putnam. Yeah, get ready. Yulee. You could have some thunder by lunchtime tomorrow as well. And then notice how things really settle down quickly. So hopefully we'll trim that back edge of that weather impact alert. And then through the week, do you notice something here? It's pretty interesting. We're called the Sunshine State, but this time of year we're the Stormy State. Look at the lack of storms. Miami, there's a few in South Florida. Orlando, Tampa, and then just the Bahamas. Notice how it's rain-free. That's unusual for the Bahamas. That's the Saharan dust moving our way. So Tuesday, you look at the amount of moisture available for storms, it's lowering across the First Coast. Tuesday, we'll have fewer storms. I think a nice summer day. We'll still have a pop-up storm or two. We're not seeing much on radar there, are we? But most of your storms a little farther north where the dust is not affecting areas of South Carolina and Atlanta. So the dust cloud keeping us calm in the tropics for now and quieter on radar for sure by Tuesday. And then by Wednesday and Thursday, it's just a hot, dry, sultry pattern once again. So before we take our first break, let's take a look at the 7-day forecast. Man, we're talking about the next 2 days with that weather impact alert. Of course, we got Buddy Check 12. We're checking on our friends, checking on the pets. We've got the pink on, and we'll start to lower those rain chances by Tuesday. Very exciting. 89 tomorrow for a high. That is exciting when we've had some reports of 100-degree weather across the area. That's a big difference. Also, no heat advisories. Temperature should be at 92. We'll stay one more day below average on Tuesday, a nice summer day. And then here comes the heat and the sultry weather by the mid and end of the week. So the Saharan dust takes over the pattern, very hot weather. And I know a lot of folks tune into the show just for the exclusive 10-day forecast. So I'm going to have that coming up along with your beach, brunch, and boating forecast. And then we'll finish with a nice bow with a nice look at the tropics But we'll be back here. Give me about a minute. Head to the fridge, get a little refreshment, and we'll finish strong here.
We have new details about a heavy police presence in Jacksonville Beach.
Driver fired gunshots along the interstate today, prompting a police chase.
Breaking overnight, police are investigating an officer-involved shooting.
Breaking news, a major crash on I-95.
Routine controlled burn got out of control. First Coast News was the only station there.
Stream extended coverage on First Coast News Plus. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with First Coast News and First Coast News Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage with First Coast News and First Coast News Plus. The First Coast News Plus TV app. Streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Had the umbrella in the back seat, the rain jacket ready to go.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene.
Let's get some breaking news we've been following overnight.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. First Coast News Plus. Complete coverage of your local news, weather, and more.
The First Coast News weather team has your most accurate forecast with weather impact alerts to warn you about severe weather. Our team is here to help you prepare and keep you safe.
The First Coast News weather team is always on your side. Stream extended coverage on First Coast News Plus.
Yes, good to be with you, meteorologist Mike Prangley. Finishing up, we got about 10 more minutes or so, 9 minutes here. So let's get to your pictures, and it starts with Ace and Amelia. Bogo, oh my goodness, the kingfisher biting. So Captain Alvarez, we've got our exclusive Captain Alvarez fishing report every morning on Good Morning Jacksonville. And yeah, boaters saying we had some nice weather. May have been hot, but we've had some nice weather for most of the day before these storms have come into the area by late day and into the evening. But for this picture here, doesn't get much better. Ace and Amelia reeling in the big one. And if you're going fishing today, the Volano Beach ramp is nice and busy, but we've got to get the boats back to shore, it looks like, by mid to late afternoon, a little earlier today. Okay, let's take a look at the fishing forecast. Seas 2 feet. Watch the radar, left side of the screen. Yeah, clouds, storms building and moving offshore. Looks like mainly after 4 o'clock. So for boaters, just keep that in mind. Keep an eye to the sky. We got that westerly flow once again. It brings in the storms by late day. West winds 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 3 feet. We got a moderate chop inland. So on the St. John's, you have to realize water temperatures up at 90 degrees right now. My goodness. Beach temperatures and the seas, 2 to 3 feet. We got 87 degrees on the sand. And speaking of the temperatures at the beach, look at this. Pretty amazing. All right, so water temperature 87. It's not really something you can cool down in. It's bath water out there. And then you've got the actual air temperature of 94 degrees. All right, so scorching hot. We're watching those storms by 4 o'clock, west winds 10 to 15. There's those water temperatures I was talking about. I'm just mesmerized. That's pretty impressive. 87 and 90. It's been too hot is what that's telling us. UV index of 11, so we've got a burn time in 10 minutes or less. But if you're surfing, 1 to 2 foot sea, 1 to 2 foot surf, 8-second wait period. And keep in mind, the high tide came in first thing this morning, low tide as we go into this afternoon. Okay, so 12:47. So that means rip currents will be worse in the morning versus the afternoon, and that west wind will help matters there. Rip currents are a big deal every day. All right, so I always ask the lifeguard, be careful and remember to swim parallel if you get caught in a rip current. We take a look at our Sunday brunch forecast, and yeah, I think we need to get out there and get some good food. I'm ready for some extra eggs. I had a long run yesterday. I went too long. It was too hot to do a long run, but it felt like a long run in the heat yesterday, so I'm still recovering. And if you order in some of those eggs and maybe some extra pancakes, at least we're not going to worry about rain for our Sunday brunch. There it is. Very low chances, but remember the heat advisory kicks in by 11 a.m. and temperatures rolling into the low 90s. As we look at our city-by-city forecast, Palm Coast, Palatka, St. Augustine, good coverage of storms expected. These are a lot better. These temperatures look a lot better than the highs near 100, don't they? We'll take it. I still think most of us in the low to midnight is still going to be plenty hot with intense heat and storms. There's the weather impact alert, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Gainesville, 89. So notice farther west you go, temperatures may only be near 90. And then the later onset of the storms a little farther east. So you can look at Brunswick, 96 degrees for that high. We look at the forecast rainfall. This is what we need. We're still officially in that drought. We said it would probably take a summer's worth of rain here. We're going to have a summer of active period, and then the fall we'll have to stay active. But we're in an El Nino year, so this will all iron itself out over time. But we need the rain. And we take a look at some amounts up to 3-4 inches of rain over the next couple of days if you get under one of those thunderstorms. So if you look at the overall threat level here, my big two today, really lightning and isolated flooding out there, the localized flooding, so be careful. There's the update on the drought. Yep, still extreme and severe, no surprise there. But, oh, yes, look at Palm Coast, Daytona Beach. Yeah, the drought's becoming squeezed from the west and the east. We're getting more yellow on the screen here, and that's some better news. And we're only in a moderate drought. Wow, in southeast Georgia. I'm surprised it's still called a moderate drought as much rain has been falling. And we're going to get out of that drought before the end of summer for sure if you're up in southeast Georgia. Jacksonville might be a closer call, but I still think by later in the summer officially out of it, and especially the fall when the rain really is expected to pick up. July rainfall, so far we've got a deficit, so if we have rain in the forecast the next 2 days, bring it, but just make sure you keep an eye to the sky, be careful of the lightning. We've got rainfall still about 1.5 inches below average for the month. And then for the year, still running a deficit of about 6.5 to 7 inches, but that's at the airport. Many areas have had a lot more than that 19 inches of rain, so that's the good news there. And hopefully we'll have 2 more green squares to share with you. I'll have the rainfall totals on Good Morning Jacksonville tomorrow. Feels like temperatures, we said we're going to get out of the heat for a couple of days, or at least give us more, at least more typical heat for this time of year. And that would come in to start the week. So notice we'll go from the danger zone 105 today and get a break. We'll still have the extreme caution. It's summer, it's July, but at least feeling closer to where we should be for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then by Thursday, Saharan dust and heat is back in the forecast. Here it is, your 10-day forecast, and I know this is what you've been asking for, your exclusive 10-day here on First Coast News. I enjoy bringing this to you every day, and I tell you what, we're going to start the week with a couple of weather impact alerts. Keep in mind today's impact alert, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Tomorrow may shift up a little earlier in the day, and don't be surprised to see a little bit of morning rain and have those be ready by noon for some storms, all right? So really got to move that up. And look at those temperatures, 89 degrees. Then we get into some nice, I'm calling it a nice summer day. This is Florida, South Georgia. This is what we signed up for, 91 93. Our average is 92. That's where we should be. Good pool weather. A lot of kids in summer camp, YMCA camp there. And then you got good swim day. More of your typical pop-up storms in the afternoon, but we showed you radar and we said there's going to be a lot of dry air coming in by Tuesday. And then not so nice summer weather. Once you get into the mid-90s to near 100, and then you drop the rain to 20% on Thursday, that's a big deal. So Thursday, Friday, watching maybe for some more heat advisories. All right, and then as we go into next weekend, there we go. We go to July 19th and 20th, back to some more of our typical storms. And we need the rain, right? So we'll slowly ease back on those temperatures.